Welcome back to my channel, Beautiful Minutia. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my February TBR. Pretty much everything that I'm going to share today is probably a buddy read or a group read, so hopefully I didn't overschedule myself this month because I did really good with not doing that in January, but February is an exciting month because it's also the month of FebRegency. I'll link my FebRegency announcement in case you didn't see it, so you can go ahead and check that out and find out what FebRegency is and if you want to participate and all that kind of good stuff. I actually did share my TBR in that announcement video. But just to do a little recap, the only book that I am certainly, definitely, for sure, reading for FebRegency is The Romance of the Forest by Anne Radcliffe, which I am reading with Dia and Stephanie, who are also FebRegency co-hosts, so that's exciting. That's going to be really fun. We read an Anne Radcliffe together last year, and so we're going to read another one together this year, and I am very, very excited about it. Anne Radcliffe writes a lot of gothic, like sweeping romantic kind of stories that are extremely dramatic with lots of twists and turns, and they're just a lot of fun to read, so I'm really looking forward to this one. I did have a couple of other books that I mentioned in that announcement video, and I'll just go ahead and rehash that here. I don't know if I'll definitely read these or not. They're just like maybes if I have time. One is Castle Rackrent by Mariah Edgeworth, which I haven't read anything by her before, so that would be really fun to do. This bind-up has Castle Rackrent and Ennui in it. Castle Rackrent is super duper short in this. I want to say it's like 100 pages or something like that. Maybe it's a little bit more. 122 pages, so close. I don't know if I would read Ennui as well, but I would like to give Castle Rackrent a try if I have time to squeeze that in. And then I also have this really beautiful collection of romantic poetry from the time period that I would like to dip in and out of as the month allows. So I don't know how much of this I'll read. Like in previous years, I have selected a poet and just read through some of their poetry. I don't know if I'll do that this year or just kind of hop around. I haven't really decided. For my Patreon, we are going to be continuing reading through Sylvia's Lovers by Elizabeth Gaskell. We're reading the first half in the month of January and the second half in the month of February, having a halfway Zoom chat to talk about our thoughts through the midway point of the book, and then a final Zoom chat to discuss the final half of the book and our thoughts on all of that. So that will be really fun. Really looking forward to reading the second half of this book and seeing how everything pans out. For my in-person book club, we are going to be reading Miss Bunkle's book by D.E. Stevenson, which will be a really light, fun read. My understanding of the premise of this book is that it's about a woman who is an author and she writes a book, but a lot of the characters in her book are personified by people that are living in her actual town. So when this book gets really popular and really famous, people in the town start recognizing themselves within the pages and are not very happy about that. So it sounds like it'll be a really fun, humorous one. For my American literature class, I will be reviewing for our last month of classes, which is the month of March. That'll be the last month that we're doing like a book, reading a book and talking about it. And we'll be doing Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. You may remember that I talked about how this was my favorite book of the year last year. I just read it in September, not that long ago. So to be rereading it already may seem like a lot, but I am looking forward to rereading it. And I took like extensive like notes and post-its knowing that I was going to teach this to my class. So it'll probably be kind of like a lighter read in terms of the amount of effort I'm putting in. Not lighter as in the subject matter being lighter, but I won't have to read as deeply because I feel like I read it deeply and took lots of notes the first time. So it's going to be kind of more of a reviewing type of read, but I really did love this book so much, so I'm not mad to be rereading it again already. I also have a couple of buddy reads going on for the month of February, one of which is The Dutch House by Anne Patchett, which I'm going to be reading with my older sister, and I actually don't know anything about this book. I have just heard really wonderful things about it. It definitely had like a moment a few years ago when it came out. It was very popular, and Anne Patchett in general is pretty popular. I think she writes like historical / literary fiction. I think this might be kind of more of a family saga. The inside flap says, at the end of the Second World War, Cyril Conrad combines luck and a single canny investment to build an immense real estate empire, propelling his family from poverty to enormous wealth. His first order of business is to buy the Dutch House, a lavish estate in the suburbs of Philadelphia. Meant as a surprise for his wife, the house sets in motion the undoing of everyone he loves. I'm not going to read much else because I just don't like having too much information going into a book, but it does say that it's set over the course of 5 decades, a little bit further down. I haven't read anything by her, and I'm really excited to dive into her. When I got this book, actually, my older sister bought it for me and bought a copy for herself as well, so we could read it together, and I'm glad that we're finally getting to it. I actually started this book in January, but I didn't talk about it because I didn't have like specific plans to pick it up for sure in January at that point, but that's Fool's Errand by Robin Hobb. I'm reading this with my friend Whitney. We read the Live Ship Traders books together, and she's just like my fantasy series buddy. We're usually reading some sort of series together, so we're really excited to be reading this one together as well. This is book 1 in the Tawny Man trilogy, so it's the 3rd trilogy of the Realm of the Elderlings, like that greater series that I think is 16 books. So I am so excited to be reading Hobb again. I'm already really enjoying it. At the time of me filming this, I'm about 15% of the way through, so I don't know how far I will be by the time I hit the end of January. I know I won't finish it. I know I won't even be halfway through. So with all the best intentions of the world, I hope to finish this by the end of February, but it may take me longer just because Robin Hobb's books are quite long, and I have, as you can see, plenty of other obligations. Also, at the time of me filming this, I don't know if I will finish this by the end of the month or not, but I have just started Rainbow Valley on audio. I have been reading through the Anne of Green Gables series with Stephanie from Miss Richards Reads, and we read the first 6 over the course of the year last year, and so we have Rainbow Valley and Rilla of Ingleside. So by the time this video goes up, I may have finished Rainbow Valley, but I may not have. So in that case, Rainbow Valley will be kicked and continued into February. But if I have finished it, maybe we'll pick up Rilla of Ingleside. Maybe not. We might save that for March, especially since we're already reading The Romance of the Forest together. I'm not really sure. So that's kind of like a loosey-goosey thing. We've taken the entire series loosey-goosey, which has been absolutely perfect because we're just kind of taking it as we go, and just it's been wonderful. It's been like the least stressful buddy read I've ever had in my life, because sometimes one of us is halfway through the book when the other one hasn't even started it yet, and we just check in when we want to, and when we're caught up, then we listen to the Voxers, and it's just been like real chill, and they're just such delightful books anyway. It has been so enjoyable to reread these books because I have only read the first 3 books in adulthood. I read all of them as a child, but I have reread the first 3 a couple of times in adulthood, and not the rest of them. So it's been really, really enjoyable to dive back in. This book in particular, Rainbow Valley, centers around not just Anne, but also there's a new parson living at the manse, and he has some children, 4 children, who are kind of a little bit looked down on by the rest of the area because he kind of lets them roam wild and free. And so the beginning of the book, I can tell that they're already befriending the Blythe children. And so I think it's going to be a wonderful book full of childhood antics, which is really fun and definitely harkens back to Anne of Green Gables and the hijinks that Anne gets into, as well as Anne of Avonlea and the hijinks that Davy gets into. So I fully anticipate this being just like a really lighthearted, enjoyable read. Well, those are my plans for the month of February. As you can see, lots of plans. Some of them a little loosey-goosey, but most of them a bit more solid. So we'll see if I can actually get through all of these books in the shortest month of the year. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. What are you reading in February? Are you participating in any reading events, whether that be FebRegency or any others? I know there's lots of really great events happening in the month of February, but I'd love to hear what your plans are and what book it is that you are the most excited to read. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like and also subscribe so you can continue to see more bookish content from me, and I will see you again next time.